Sianets. So guys, today webinar I have make a mix. Like first, I'll tell you like we are starting one weekend batch from next weekend. So it will be a combination of your Palo Alto plus F5. So many people wanted to know it's still this technology which we are teaching, it's still in demand and what we will cover in this course. So this batch will start from 24th of Feb and it's a weekend batch and there is an offer going on currently that these two technologies guys will be providing in 12,000 rupees only INR for Indian students and for international 200 USD. So and this will be starting from 9 a.m. IST. Okay, so first we'll start Palo Alto. Once it's complete, then we'll start with F5 load balancer. So that was little bit, I don't want to go little bit more on that. First, I wanted to tell you how much topics we'll cover and how F5 is in demand or firewall will be already you have taken demo from Emu sir. So I hope many people know what is firewall. So today I wanted to cover most things on F5 as a product and why it's in demanding technology. So I have segregated this webinar into three parts, guys. First, I will cover basics of F5. Okay. Then I will go through what are the career path. Even you have cloud network right now. You are into DevOps or you are into routing switching or you are into security. So this is, I'll cover the career guidance, which is very important. Third important topic is in our training, what are the things which will cover, which will help you to crack any interview? That's what we give. So I'll cover the design part, implementation part, plus operation part, which is mandatory nowadays. Like even you are into routing switching, every company is asking for a product called F5. Any load balancer guys, but F5 is a huge demand nowadays. Now the fourth part guys, what we give in this training. So guys, my name is Vidit. I have experience around 12 years in IT industry. Plus, I've been working in this technology from last 12 years. In and out, I know. Plus, I help my students to correct any interview related to F5. That is my guarantee, guys. And my main focus is not about the certification. My main focus is you can work in any production environment. I have seen many people ask me, sir, I am a fresher. I have 1 year's experience or 2 years experience. How I can crack interview or how I can work in production. So that's what my specialist is. So I will teach you in the way where you can design a product, any product in F5. So I teach many technologies like LTM, plus I teach GTM and ASM. And the last product is APM. So I wanted to cover why this all modules. It's not one technology, guys. Nowadays, F5 has changed its phenomena. They are introducing a new product which is called Cloud DXC. That is called distributed cloud product. So even you are into DevOps, even you are a developer, you still need a knowledge on your load balancer skills. Plus, they've introduced another product which is called Nginx, which is a Linux-based load balancer, which is also in huge demand. So F5 has been market. Why F5 is still in market? That I will discuss. And the last fifth topic, what I will discuss is interview. What are the day-to-day activities which are needed, which you can tell to an interviewer that, see, my main purpose of this webinar is to make sure you are comfortable in working environment, what you can write in your CV, plus how you can correct any interview. So there are three profiles. I'm not sure whether you're new to this product or you're new to this market, but whenever you deploy any technology or whenever you start working on any technology, what are the main requirements which are required that I will cover in this whole F5 journey. So it will be interactive in between. So I would request everyone to be part of this. If you want to live, it's your choice. But at last, I'll make more excited. In beginning, I will start with basics. So if you miss any 1 minute or 2 minutes here, that will have a loss. So let's start, guys. So also, guys, we have a website where you can go through like why you select us. We have different courses in our market that I'll show you. Plus, we have YouTube channel which you can watch. So we have two YouTube channel. One is Sianets. Okay, this is mostly you will find products, cloud, SD-WAN, and Palo Alto stuffs which Hemu sir to teach. And the next channel is Skilled Inspirational Academy, where mostly you will see videos related to F5 and other products also. But most of the things which I focus mostly on F5 as a product. You can watch all the interview topics or career guidance session here. So that was all about this, guys. Now, first of all, guys, as I told you, I'll talk about course content or why F5 is still in market or why they have introduced this product and what are the things which they can ask in a live interview or when you are in working environment. So guys, F5 is a simple company which you have introduced a product called load balancer. Whether it's an F5 or it's a Redware, there are many competitors in market. You have Redware as a product, you have AWS or Azure as a product, then you have Citrix load balancer as a product. But still, if you go to naukri.com, if I get a time, I will show you. In naukri.com, when you go, in every company, guys, they will ask you F5 as a product, why it's in demanding and why you need that. So when I talk about load balancer as a product, guys, they have a product module called LTM. Then they have one module called GTM. And third module which they have introduced is ASM, which is also called Advanced WAF. So when I come across on an interview or whenever I see a profile, whoever is good in this all three modules, there is no worry for next 5 years, guys. Even you are into cloud, even automation is coming or AI is coming, this product is still in use. So now what is the difference between a product called LTM, a product called GTM, and a product called ASM? Whenever you go into any market, guys, first thing is you need to be strong in basics. Any load balancer comes, guys, trust me, your TCP protocol will never get changed. Your HTTP protocol will never get changed. Even you are into cloud or automation, Wireshark tool will still get used. You can go through market. Many professionals are there in market. You can ask your friends, are they still using F5 as a product? You will get to know. Now, LTM, when I talk about LTM is called local traffic manager, guys. And why it is need, why a load balancer comes into picture. Simple phenomena by diagram I will represent you. Why in every company In today's market, everyone is there in 2024 right now. Everyone is worried about the competition. Should I learn this technology? Should I learn routing switching? Or should I just go to cloud? Sir, I want to switch my profile into cloud. Will my current skills will still remain in market? Everyone is starting career path, career guidance. So that's why I wanted to have a webinar where I can tell you the demand. So local traffic manager, why load balancer is needed and why it is called local traffic manager. So F5 was a company which is US based company. So they introduced first product which is called LTM and it is also called application delivery controller. And why I say that it's called application delivery controller is, guys, let's say you are accessing a website called Sianets.com. I get a requirement here with it. I have a company called Sianets or Skilled Inspirational Academy. Okay. I want to host 20 websites where I need an F5 load balancer which can distribute my load. But with it, my requirement is I want my application to be 24 into 7 accessible. I want my application to be secure. No one should hack my website. I want with it my website should not get slow. It should be fast. So how you can achieve? Which product can help you to achieve this all things, guys? I want that I have three resources in my company. I want one resource should not get overloaded, guys. Let's say you're working in one company where you have a manager. Okay. Let me draw a topology which will help you. Let's say I have multiple client 1, client 2, client 3. Okay. Who wants to access I have a firewall here. So I'm drawing a live topology, which is mostly used in your production environment. So please understand carefully on this so that you can get knowledge like how F5 has been introduced. Now, then there will be, let's say, a load balancer. Then let's say there is a switch. Then you will have multiple servers. So when I talk about cnets.com, guys, please understand that this cnets.com, when you access from your web browser or when you get a web page, can anyone tell me from where this application comes? When you access cnets.com, where this application is exactly hosted, guys? When I access learn.cnets.com, from where this website is coming or where this is hosted, you have right now we have, let's say, hundred of students who wants to access this, wanted to see the courses. From where this application is getting delivered? Anyone can help me to understand? So guys, this application is hosted in your server. These applications are hosted in real server. You can say it's an app server. So many terms are there in your load balancer. Some people say it's an app server. Some people say it's a web server. So your main application is hosted, guys, here. And my target is as a network engineer or F5 specialist engineers, guys. I won't spend much time in networking. I'm not good, but I need to focus on load balancer. My customer has a requirement that they need to deploy 20 applications like cnets.com. And they want to make sure that my website is accessible over internet plus 24 into 7 availability. Now, my question to everyone is, this is the topology which you can see in market. Okay, but you will also see that there is a product called where you need to understand the traffic processing. Okay, how the traffic will go, that I'll cover. But before that, I wanted to tell you in a production environment when you deploy F5, where it should get deployed. That is the first question you should understand when you give any interview, or when you are a firewall engineer or a routing switching engineer, you should know where to place load balancer. So that was the main thing which I want to show through diagram, and I am drawing a diagram which I have seen basically in production environment being used. So let's go further. Okay, I'll go further on this. I'll open my whiteboard. This is already there. So I'll draw a topology where I'll have a design which will benefit IU. So LTM load balancer, I'll show you how it is distributing a lot, but we'll talk about the design deployment part. So let's say I have a internet in my company. Okay. So here is a firewall. Let's say I have firewall 1, I have firewall 2 in HA. And this I'll call as a outside interface. Please understand this diagram, guys. You will understand a lot. Now I have a inside zone, and then I have a core switch. Here also I have core switch. Then I have servers connecting to this switches. So I'll say app 1, server 1, server 2. Now guys, there is a requirement comes into picture with it. I need to deploy an application behind a load balancer. I want to make sure that when a client hits my website, it should get distributed across multiple servers. Guys, first of all, this is my first diagram. Now, instead of that, I have a client, multiple clients. I only have a firewall and I only have a server. Now I want to publish a web server. So this application is directly hosted here and my multiple clients are coming for internet. So please carefully watch. There are two images, image 1, image 2, where I have F5 and firewall both. But in this picture, I only have a firewall with servers where directly your application is hosted. But here you have F5 before a server. Now, can anyone tell me in this scenario, picture 2, when multiple clients wants to access my website, Sianets.com, and if this server goes down, what will happen? Will I still able to provide 24 into 7 availability? Anyone? I have only one server coming into picture which is connected to internet, guys. And all my applications are hosted there only. Will I get redundancy? Anyone? Will I get any redundancy in this? Point is, you only have one server. You don't get 24 into 7 availability, and you will face an outage scenario in this, guys. Second thing, even this server is up, guys. Even this server is up. You will get outage or slowness issues complaint. First, you will get 24 into 7 availability. No, because you have only one server into picture. Now, I have placed an F5 before a server. Now, what it is doing it? I have a client, I have a firewall, I have an F5 with multiple servers placed over it. Now, in this case, guys, even this server goes down. You have multiple clients coming into picture. You will make sure that F5 distribute load across these two servers, server 2, server 3. That is called a basic definition of load balancer, which makes sure that I can distribute even load. Some client request will go to this server, some client request will go to this server, some client request will go to this server. Simple concept of load balancer. Always, guys, if you get any concept, you should segregate with basic language. Load balancer means load plus balancer. And what I term as load is your client request. And what I term as balancer is that when traffic comes to F5 from multiple client, I should equally distribute traffic across multiple servers. Okay, this is the simple and easiest language. If someone asks you why I need a load balancer, you can tell them customer requirement is 24 into 7 availability. Customer requirement was that I want to distribute load even one server goes down. I want my website to be up always. And the third one is scalability. Even one server is goes down, client can distribute requests to another server. Plus there are many things, guys. Security. My customer wants security. For that, there is a very good module which is called WAF. And trust me, guys, this advanced WAF is in huge demand. And this is also called ASM. Why? Because nowadays Modi government is focusing on cyber security. So every company nowadays is looking for an engineer where they are looking for a combined profile. You should be good in routing switching, you should be good in load balancer, you should be good in firewalls. Plus nowadays they are looking for a cyber security champ. See, you need to protect your application, right? Even automation comes or AI comes, still you need a security engineer who can protect. So that's where there is a technology called web application firewall or application security manager. That I will show you a demo after this little bit. But let's first talk about now the design. I've told you what does load balancer by default means. Now I was talking about in industry, in production environment, how it is deployed. So I'm going further. So I was talking about, let's say right now only we have a switch technology and firewall. But I got a requirement where I need to place my load balancer. So mostly guys, load balancer will be placed in DMZ environment. So why guys, anyone can tell me why I want to place my load balancer in DMZ and what does DMZ means? So what does DMZ means is this is a separate zone, like we have outside zone, inside zone. Outside zone means you have application accessible over internet. Inside zone means internal network. Outside means external coming from internet. But I want to make sure that I should not touch this environment. So what I have decided is I have proposed a design where I will place my F5 in DMZ zone and my web servers which are moving behind load balancer. So I will introduce a topology here with this firewall, and here I will introduce one switch which is called DMZ switch, and with this DMZ switch I have introduced F5. So F5 I am also placing in HA so that if one F5 goes down, another should come up. Then I will have one more switch, and then I have two servers in place. Server 1, server 2. These are your web server where you want your application to be hosted. Can you see this? There are some servers here which does not require a load balancer. So in an industry production environment, somewhere you want load balancing to happen, somewhere you want traffic should go directly from firewall to servers. So here I will place a load balancer which is called F51, F52. So in production environment here I will connect. So there will be one zone which I'll create in firewall that is called DMZ zone. Okay. So in this, what I will do is, let's say this zone I have created as 1 10.10.2.5. I'm just giving one interface IP on this. So what will be my, so F5 will have two zones here, guys. F5 will also have external and internal. So when I talk about F5, I'll tell you F5 by default has four interfaces. One is for management, one is for HA, one is for external network, one is for internal network if it's needed. So I have created one VLAN DMZ zone which IP with this. So I'll give one IP here. I'll give 10.10.2.3 and I'll give 10.10.10.2.4. Same interface, right? Because this is DMZ and these are your layer 2 switch. Now, there will be internal network. Internal network, I'm assigning 10.10.10.3 network, 3.5 and 10.10.3.6 because these are separate network. Now, can anyone tell me this is your L2 switch? Okay, this will be your L2 switch. This one. What will be the server gateway here? Will it be 10.10.3.5 or 10.10.3.6, guys? Now here I am talking about this design, guys. Focus on this design. In this design, what will be my server gateway? Server is behind internal network, whether it will be 10.10.3.5 or it will be 10.10.3.6. I'm talking about this server which are behind load balancer because traffic will come from internet, then it will go to firewall, then it will come to this network, DMZ network, because my application is placed in DMZ. Why I'm placing an application in DMZ is because this is a separate network from internet. If traffic is coming from internet, this is a special zone which I have created so that it does not touch this network. Mostly in production environment, guys, your applications and load balancer will placed in DMZ network. So my gateway will be neither this, neither this. Because I put if this network gateway in my server, if this device goes down, guys, will my F5 will fail over. F5 is an HA, it will get fail over. Now traffic comes from this. Can server response? Because server gateway is this. So what is the best design, guys? So there is a concept called floating IP, guys. In F5 or in firewall, there is a concept called HSRP or floating IP. Floating IP is nothing but a IP which is a common IP shared between both the boxes. So I'll make sure that my server gateway is neither this or neither this. It is one of the floating IP which is common. So that even this device goes down, even failover happen, that IP will act, become active here. Very, very important, guys. Please take care of this. We have seen many issues where when you deploy an application active as passive, when you deploy F5 as HA, you forget to create a floating IP and you forget to make your server's gateway as a floating. So there is a concept of floating and local only. So it is the same concept in L3 network. Okay. So trust me, guys, this design will help you. Now, anyone can tell me this is your firewall line. I'll make little easy. Now, can anyone tell me my application is behind firewall? Firewall is also coming into picture. Do I need any rules here in firewalls? Let's say client wants to access application. Okay. Client wants to access any application here, this application. So do I need any rules in firewall? Because this application is private. or maybe DMZ it can access directly. Now I don't have DMZ network. Okay, I'll draw one topology. I'll draw line 2 firewall. I have F5. I have server 1. I have server 2. I have server 3. And there is a layer 2 switch. I have two zones. One I'll make external, one I'll make internal. External zone I'll make it 192.168.1.0 network. This network I'll make it on 10.10.0. Now guys, this is my public network, external, and this one is internal. And my virtual IP, there is a concept in load balancer which is called VIP IP. So whenever you access any website, sianets.com, it will resolve to one IP called 1.1.1.1. Now my question is, when you have firewall before an F5 and client wants to access this website, do I need to open any rules? So question answer is yes. What will be my source IP, guys? This is internet, let's say. What in firewall, what will be my source IP, guys? This is very important, guys. When firewall comes into picture, you need to make sure that you need to understand what changes are required. So anyone can tell me what will be the source IP. So source IP will be your internet, any, and your destination IP is virtual IP hosted on your F5. Now, sometimes you will see that between firewall and servers also, there will be, sorry, between F5 and servers also, there will be one firewall. That I'll discuss when we talk about two zones. There can be a checkpoint firewall or a Palo Alto as external, and you can place FortiGate as internal network. So that is a rule or design. Now, guys, I was talking about F5 WAF. Okay, I was talking about F5 GTM. There is a technology called DDoS. And what is two-tier architecture in F5? Let's talk about that. Or there are two modes, which is called one-arm modes, and second is called two-arm mode of deployment. So today, guys, my focus is mostly on your design part and implementation so that it can benefit you in your production environment, and how I can teach you so that I can guarantee you that you can crack any interview. So I'll draw a topology quickly where I want to deploy F5 in AWS. Let's say I've got a requirement here with it. I need to deploy my application on cloud. Okay, I got a requirement where I get that hey with it, I need to deploy my applications are in AWS. Okay, please understand this requirement, guys. They come across, they give me few applications, let's say few servers. These are on AWS. And my F5 is on premises. I have firewall. I have clients. These are all on premises. Now, how I can connect this network with this network? F5 is on premises, but my applications are in AWS cloud. And I want to make sure that when a traffic come, this website, let's say is learn.sianets.com. My client wants to access an application over cloud, but it should get first traffic on F5, guys. how I can do? Can anyone tell me? In this case, guys, first you will have one interface, one IP you will create here. Let's say 192.168.1.1 here you have given, 192.168.1.2 here you have given. Now in this interface, guys, this interface, when I talk about, this is called your one arm architecture, where your incoming traffic will also come into F5 and outgoing will also go this way. So guys, whenever this requirement comes, in that case, you will create one interface in F5. So when I'll show you quickly login into F5, how you can see the interface, then I'll talk about this scenario. This is very important and this is used in every production environment nowadays. So I'll go to my IP. .137 dot. Okay, I am just opening my F5 for your reference. Now I'll go here, network tab, interfaces. Now if you see, there are three interfaces here, but there is one more interface in F5. When I talk about load balancer, guys, by default it comes with your management interface, your external facing interface, your internal facing, and your HA. You need to just remember this. So in this environment, 1.1 will act as external, 1.2 internal, 1.3 HA. Management you can see from CLI. Okay, now my requirement is I need to connect with my firewall. So which interface I'll connect? I'll connect 1.1, external facing interface with my firewall. Now, I want to make sure that from F5, traffic should go to servers. Servers are in cloud. So I was showing you my servers were in cloud. Okay. So I was showing you this interface is how you can check. Now let me come into that topology. 1 minute, I'll just reverse back so that I can show you that interface. No problem, I'll draw again. Client 1, client 2, client 3. I have firewall on premise. I have F5 on premise, and my application, I want to make sure that it is deployed in AWS cloud. So I was talking about one ARM deployment in F5. What is the use case? So one arm means your incoming traffic will also go here and outgoing will also go in from this interface. So this interface, I'll treat it as 1.1 I showed you. Now, can anyone tell me in F5 how I can reach to these servers? Let's say these servers are 1.1.1 public, 2.2.2.2, 3.3.3.3. Try to understand traffic first will hit your VIP IP. VIP is nothing but a public IP of your website, or you can say FQDN IP of your website. Now, can anyone tell me in this case, your traffic hits your web? Okay, customer connects to Sianets.com. Now, F5 will check, oh, these servers are not my directly connected interface. These are in different network and even these are in cloud. So F5 will have one default route. F5 will have default route pointing towards firewall, and then firewall will have a connectivity with this AWS. So that is what it's called. One traffic is coming here, then F5 is again sending to firewall, and then firewall is routing towards AWS cloud. So that is how you can integrate your servers with F5 on premises. Firewall is a layer 3 device which takes place here. And this is called one arm architecture now, or you can say one arm mode. Now another requirement come into me. Hey Vidit, I want to deploy a load balancer on premises, and my servers are also on premises. And I have multiple clients coming into picture. Okay, I have layer 2 switch here and layer 2 switch here. And this is external, and you can connect firewall, you can take firewall also. Logically, I'm just showing you. Now I have three servers here. Now one external interface and one is internal. So that is called two arm mode. Here your external network will be on separate network and your internal network will be on separate network. So that is called two interface will be used, 1.1 and 1.2, because my servers are on premises mode, guys. Very, very important, guys. This will be asked in every interview. So that is called two arm mode in F5. Okay. Now, if I come across, this is a design phase which I was talking about in F5. And these are all scenarios. If you tell these scenarios, you will able to crack any interview. Now, guys, when I talk about implementation role in F5, first scenario you should get a requirement is, hey Vidit, do you have skills where you can configure F5 from scratch? That is the first question which will be asked in any interview or in production environment. Your manager will give you a role. Hey, let's say you have cracked an interview. First requirement you will always come is, please Vidit, mine you have hired as a F5 role. So in F5 role, there are L1 roles, L2 roles, L3 roles. Nowadays, people are looking for an engineer who can work. They are not looking as an expert, but they should just understand that, okay, he can work as an technology. If you answer this, you will able to clear. So first thing you should know how to configure F5 from scratch. That comes in your implementation role. Your design is finalized. We have seen the design, how firewalls are connected. Now the role comes is, I want to configure F5 from scratch. What are the activities? So either you can configure F5 in cloud, you can configure F5 in VMware, or you can deploy F5 in hardware modules. So they will ask you, hey Vidit, do you have experience in cloud? I will say yes. Do you have experience in VMware? I'll say yes. Do you have experience in hardware? I will say yes. Never say no nowadays. Second question they will ask is, which model you have deployed in hardware? When you deploy F5 in hardware box, F5 is a company, but I need to deploy one LTM module in this. So in that case, your answer should be yes. And there is a good article on this, which is called F5 datasheet. So the base model which F5 has in hardware is 2000, that is end of life. Nowadays, the models which are been installed is i2600, i2800, i5600. Now, what is the role which comes when you need to deploy F5 from scratch? 1 minute. So this is the things you have guessed the hardware. First, you need to decide CPU, RAM. So I'm talking about how to implement F5 from scratch. After that, management access, guys. Always, let's say you have a data center and you are sitting remotely in Mumbai. Okay, you are working for a company called AT&T and you want to install a F5 in US data center. Okay, customer. So how you will deploy that? Now my customer is in US. I want to deploy F5. So guys, how we will do? Can anyone tell? It's the same phenomena like Palo Alto or FortiGate. How you will deploy F5 here? What is the first thing? You will ask your data center engineer to have a laptop plug a console cable. And then you will give a management IP. How you can configure a management F5 in management IP in F5? It's very easy. I'll open Putty and I'll show you quickly. Today I don't wanted to cover theory part, so I wanted a different approach of this. I hope you are liking it. So just 1 minute, let me log in. See, nowadays theory part people don't like. They want a practical experience person who knows about the product, even basics. So how to configure management IP? This is the first thing. I got a console access. This is how your console looks like. So I'm into CLI or putty. I'll just type this command config. This is how you can get a management IP console, guys. Now you will just press OK. Here you will need to give use automatic configuration. I'll say no. I'll use manually. I'll configure manually. Now you go here. Since I have configured, I'll say no here. I'll show you. I'll say no, then it will give me. First, I'll say yes. This is the IP I need to configure. Net mask, subnet mask. I'll say yes. So this is how they will introduced. Now, I have given an F5 IP. Now, how I can access from GUI, guys? Simple. You just go to this, click on HTTPS 192 168 137.200. Just go there. You should open your F5. This is like it will be open. Now the next tab which comes into picture is license part, guys. How to license an F5 that will come. So this is the approach you need to follow. When you get a role where you get an implementation role after design, first thing management port, then license part, then NTP, time zones, everything. After that, you will configure your network. So there are three terms which comes into picture: VLANs, self IP, and interfaces. And one good advantage of F5 is, guy, why F5 is then demanding is F5 gives you 30 days free license. You can do or practice any lab in this, guys. You want to use F5 as LTM, you can do get a free license. GTM, ASM. Every feature you can practice before deploying into product, before deploying into production environment. That is very, very helpful, guys. And uh, I was talking about GTM. So, guys, GTM in F5 is called DNS solution, and it's in huge demand. You might have heard about term called GSLB, Global Server Load Balancing. So when you have GTM, you will have GTM, LTM, DC, DC2. Why this GTM comes into picture? Where your servers are across multiple data center. That is why it is called global traffic manager. When I talk about GTM, or I hope you have heard about the term Route 53 in cloud. That is the same term here in GTM. That is called Global Traffic Manager. Means your servers application are placed in different location. How you will make sure that your traffic gets load balance. Can anyone tell me when you access Sianets.com, what is the first thing you need to do? First thing, you always get an IP address. From where you get an IP address? You configure DNS. First, always your resolution should happen. If your resolution is not happening, it means there is an issue with GTM. So GTM main role is to give you name to IP resolution. After that, your traffic will come to LTM and it will get load balance. Why I need a GTM? Because I want to, my application servers are in multiple data center. And second advantage of GTM is, or global traffic load balancer is, guys, you, let's say you're sitting in US, so it will be sent to US data center. If you are accessing your website from UK, you will make sure that your request from UK data center to this servers. So that was GTM, and this will not impact your automation or something. Nothing will impact. Even your automation, your AI will come, DNS concept will still be used. Because DNS is first thing which makes sure that your website gets resolved to IP address. So guys, now I will stop the recording.